how did you come up with the name Business Brilliant, and can you define Business Brilliant for me?
I had a great opportunity to hear a gentleman named Joe Gibbs speak one day. And Joe Gibbs is the very famous coach of the Washington Redskins. He's now a NASCAR team owner, so he's actually a huge success in two sports, which is almost unheard of. But he would talk about his best players being football brilliant. And these were people who were not particularly smart. If you were talking to them, you wouldn't think they were smart. If you were testing them, they wouldn't show up as smart. But they had an innate understanding of this three-dimensional game called football, which requires you to change your sense of strategy, not in seconds, but in milliseconds. And he devised a test. He reverse engineered his most football brilliant players. And he tells very funny stories about how crazy they really are. But they're football brilliant. Russ Prince, who is the source of the story for me, discovered what made people business brilliant. These are not smart people. They're not dumb people. They're not better educated than anyone else. Because my survey is all based on self-made households, they are not wealthier when they start out lives than anyone else. They just have an innate understanding of this three-dimensional game called business. They understand it second by second, minute by minute. And to stop there, to say, oh, well, they understand it, they get it, and I don't, that's not challenging ourselves. So when Russ shared with me the 7 principles that make successful people different than everyone else, we set about creating a kind of a roadmap to how you could A, become aware of this disparity, and B, start building the muscles. That's business brilliance.
Are you saying that in order for somebody to become business brilliant, this is something that you can develop even if you don't have a strong education background?
I would say, and you and I love education, we love learning. I would say that sometimes education can take you off the path. I'll give you an example. Let's just say you have spent 10 years of your post-high school life becoming a PhD in chemistry. That's a great profession. But you know what? You may be personally better suited to something very, very different. Or you may be better suited to play a business role in chemistry that's different than a pure analytical role. And the challenge for a lot of folks who have spent 10 years and who knows how much money becoming this PhD is that to tell them they shouldn't follow the path of every other PhD before them, they should get out of the lab, they should put themselves in context where business opportunity can thrive, is to tell them that they wasted their time and their money. So we see that the more educated you are, in some ways the less flexible you become. The role of education, and I'm talking about very traditional education, going to college, going to post-bachelor's, the role of education seems to be, for almost all degrees, excluding, let's say, an MBA, is if you spend time and money in school, you can mitigate risk so much so that you'll be so valuable in the workplace that you can just be the chemist, be the guy who works in the laboratory. You'll make plenty of money, you'll have financial security. And that's one of the profiles that's threatened. And I think they're finding out, you know what, you can be very well educated with a great skill set that the world is not necessarily beating a path to your door. Your skills, your technical skills have to be combined with business brilliance in order to really maximize the opportunity.